Alrighty, so some coverage from the GSL qualifiers. The new GSL Patreon, I say new, from last year, as I just need to turn my health bars on, give me 1 second. Last year's GSL Patreon obviously started giving us access to these replays, and this is my first time actually casting anything from GSL. I've never casted a GSL replay in my life. But this is a GSL qualifier replay. These are a set of replays that came out because the GSL qualifiers were yesterday for the first season of 2024 Code S. And yeah, 16 players qualify. Every match that we're going to cast today is going to be a qualifying match. The only matches in the replay pack are qualifying matchups. So if you see somebody win one of these best of threes, it means they made it into the GSL Code S for the upcoming season. In the top right, Red Protoss player from Twisted Minds is Classic. A Protoss player who was very much so absent at IEM Katowice, the tournament on everybody's mind still from last weekend. Yeah, we kind of missed Classic, you know. It was kind of a shame he wasn't there because he definitely could have upped that Protoss representation. But yeah, not making it is a little bit of a shame. In the bottom left, Blue Terran player. Well, spoilers. If you don't want to hear Katowice spoilers, you probably shouldn't be watching this, but IEM Katowice grand finalist, it is Maru, back-to-back runners-up in Katowice. Just can't get over that hump in the finals, unfortunately, for him. It's been a challenge for sure. So, yeah, this TvP, though, obviously Maru, the king of GSL, you expect him to make it into GSL without too many issues. I believe the way this works is that this is double elimination, so this is like the first, the winner bracket qualifying match. And then after this winner bracket qualifying match, if you lose here, you go to the lower bracket qualifying match. And if you lose there, you will still have another double elimination bracket to try and make your way through to qualify. I believe those secondary double elim brackets qualify 3 players each time. So, yeah, lots of opportunities. This is definitely not just a, you know, this is it, do or die. For these guys, this would have been their first chance to qualify in. And realistically, whoever loses here, we're probably going to see if we cast more of these replays, making it in on another series or so, because they're both very good players. But that doesn't mean that it's not fun to watch how exactly these games turn out, how exactly they go down. And hey, at the end of the day, someone has to not make it into Code S, right? Like, somebody has to be that player that misses the opportunity, misses the, you know, the advancement. So that is a factor as well. That is something to keep in mind as we get ourselves up and running for the early stages here. Game number 1 of this best of 3. Playing on our Alcyone to open up the Terran versus Protoss, and the Reaper goes poking around, looking to see a little bit of what's going on the other side of the map. The Adept will be out the front and patrolling away just a little bit. And yeah, Reaper is going to try and hop up to the high ground over on the right side, but it's going to be met by a wall off, so no love found there. Reaper does have a way out, as we do see 2 more Reapers, and our Hellions are pretty aggressive out of Maru. By going into these extra Reapers and that additional Hellion, you're really putting yourself in a position here where it's like, okay, I'm making a lot of early game units. You know, not even a Cyclone or something, right? I mean, maybe a Cyclone follows up. We'll see actually what builds off of the Reacted Factory in a moment, but it's still just a lot of early game units that want to get into a mineral line. They want to go and dive in on some units. They want to deal damage. So you're definitely expecting that to be a factor, as it is Cyclones on the follow-up. Initially, Phoenix feel pretty good against harassment like this because they can take out some of the key units and just stop them from fighting. Especially if the gateway units do a lot of the DPS necessary to shut the other units down. For example, this Hellion should never reach a mineral line. And, I mean, 3 Reapers can still be deadly. 2 shotgun workers is absolutely going to be something to note, as Hellion will finally go down. The Reapers are going to find themselves a second probe kill here. And that will be about it. Complete cleanup. 2 probes for 2 Reapers and 3 Hellions. Oh, 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. Sorry, other way around. I do not look at that and think, oh my goodness, this was it for Maru. No, this was anything but it. The only thing I do like for Maru is the fact that he's at least gone into this Cyclone follow-up, and Cyclones are going to be very helpful against the Phoenix, against Stargate play in general. It's just going to keep these Phoenix from having too much control. You should be able to zone these Phoenix with the Cyclones as well. As our Phoenix dive into the main base, we're going to go grab an SCV already. Now we're going to move back out over the right-hand side, and again, we've actually stopped Phoenix production already. So 2 Phoenix, then the Robo Facility as a priority, and now back into Phoenix production. That is the plan for the moment, as our Phoenix do loop back over. They're going to have to get home, and we're going to probably need an Immortal to help us against these Cyclones as well. Get an Immortal up and get that DPS increased against these units. Obviously, the Phoenix can nullify some of these Cyclones. Lifting some of them out of the fight can offset the numbers quite effectively. Couple Cyclones going to come up around the top. First Stalker already going to be hit. Probably on the way up in the main base. Still got the rest of these Cyclones sitting out the front for the moment. And no reason to kind of commit in. I do think this is a little bit too much on the Protoss side of things right now. I see the Phoenix lifting up, and that's amazing because you can just lift them up and just completely nullify those units. Liberator came through, didn't get any kills just yet. It's going to have Phoenix and Stalkers on it. What are we going to kill? A single probe? Man, all of this harassment from Maru is completely falling apart. It's doing absolutely nothing so far. Cyclones, Marines pulling back to the bottom left-hand side. More units continue to gather into the center. Everything continues down to the south here. Classic continues to go moving along. You're not going to see the few Stalkers just going to catch the Viking. And main, everything from Maru has felt pretty darn miserable. That's a lot of units throughout this game that's just gone absolutely horribly. As our Phoenix is going to push away onto that medevac, and everything from Classic still gathering through. Just going to see this Orbital going to take some shots. I mean, that might be the saving grace to some extent of Maru, because he's going to have a third CC in play to help himself out. It's going to back away, back up to the upper right-hand side. It's going to be chilling again. Extended thermal lance coming through. The sentry coming up. After Phoenix still chilling about for a few moments, and we just have ourselves the 1-1 upgrade stim pack. And again, Interference Matrix coming through from Maru as well. So he's going to go pretty late into this Raven. You know, he put so much money onto the tech elsewhere. The Raven is quite late, but still going to get it. It's still going to get the Matrix up. Great against Colossi because, of course, you can Matrix down some of those Colossi and really stop those Colossi from being effective in the immediate stages of the game. So expecting that to allow some of the pushes from Maru to look a little bit better, look a little bit nicer. As 1-1 upgrades coming up to being about halfway done. The force of Maru pushes to the center of the map. A couple Cyclones, a few Marines all joined together here. You just have the Fleet Beacon already on the way from Classic, so he makes a direct dive into Fleet Beacon and the Stargate. So he wants to go into the later stages. Obviously, that's something which Classic, Hero, they've actually started doing a lot against Terran players lately, where they just say, you know what, safely set up on 3 bases, you know, maybe I'll take a slower stretch out of base number 4. These are the sort of things which you want to try and achieve as the Protoss. So, yeah, moving into those carriers, going to basically draw this game out into later game tech. I mean, that's not exactly a fun way to play against Maru, because Maru is very good later in the game in TvP, but sometimes it's just the way you can have to play. Single Zod just going to go around, just going to hit that Marine a couple of times. Marine will indeed fall. More units out in the center from Classic, and it is going to be a push from Maru. If he can hit before the carriers are set up, there's obviously a lot of potential there, so definitely expecting that to be a big possibility of something that can go down. As units continue across, we got ourselves the units all gathering up out front, and just have this force of Maru looking to get position. Phoenix going to try and get the Raven. We Matrix one Phoenix. We're going to kill 2 of them. The Raven stays alive. Now, you did have to use spellcasting on the Phoenix, but hey, at least the Raven gets to stay alive there. And you've got another Raven ready to go anyway, so I'm kind of down for it. Ravens over time will still find opportunities, and I love this position. Maru deciding to siege. Once he gets to this choke point here, he knows covering that should be easy for him to do, so he's able to do that, you know, quite convincingly. No problem at all. He's going to hold off because of that. 2 upgrades, ship weapons coming in, couple carriers, the air weapons coming up, more army from Classic over to that right-hand side. Everything's still just joining. Colossus coming through. The carriers on the way. +1 blink. Air weapons. +2 attack. Continue to build out as well. Again, upgrades are going to be very important the deeper this game goes. Those first skirmishes never really left us with too much to say. I mean, the Phoenix going down, that wasn't great, but again, other than that, it has been a great defensive game from Classic. The early game was fantastic for him. He denied all the aggression. He really didn't take any super early damage. That's pretty notable. Bio units there. They move up for a few moments. Now going to see a couple units lifted into the medevacs, and they're going to go backing it up and going to go find themselves elsewhere for a couple moments as well. So they will fly off and look for some different directions. However, they're going to fly over spotters if you're not careful, but actually, never mind, we unloaded. Just a few Cyclones over here in the end, and they're just going to go and pick away these this pylons. This pylon will go down. Knock that away. We should knock this away, Zealots. Gonna clean up the Cyclones, which, to be fair, at this point, you typically say that Cyclones are kind of past the, main point of the game. They're meant to be early game, additional units. They, meant to help you out and not much else. At this point, what are Cyclones really meant to achieve? Not much. It's much more about the Bio Army, and honestly, losing those to kind of free up some space probably works out for you anyways, as Maru, because now you can get better units, more Ghosts, more Vikings, more things that will fight successfully against these carriers. That's where you want to be heading to right now. That's where we're aiming for. As those carriers come and join up. And we still got a few Bio units out in the center of the map as well. Looking for that chance. Get something done. Zealot's still chilling over here as we see our Nexus. Just going to drop down on the gold base. Mr. Vikings just coming through. The Bio will collect on the center. Just going to take the Watchtower for a couple moments. Plus 2 air weapons on the way as well. I mean, obviously, again, upgrades. Just advance your position in this game. This Classic, you're taking this gold. You're looking to build up a bank. He is going to move forward, which I don't hate the idea of, but this army is not perfect just yet. Like, 6 carries is very good, but it can get better. Storms and Archons, trade out these Stalkers for stuff like that might be good. These Stalkers are very good against Vikings as well, but there's a point at which getting Stalkers to realistically shoot down Vikings is very tough to do, and at that point, having Storms there instead, or Archons, may just be more effective. Just going to see this army of Classic backing away. Mothership in tow. 6 Vikings being produced at a time. I am worried that there's not like the anti-air kind of splash damage against the Vikings. I do think that may be an issue in an upcoming fight, as we are going to see lingering around. These Vikings clump up. They're looking for the shots. Not quite enough to one-shot, but very dangerous. That's what I mean. There's just so little you can do sometimes against this group of units, so it's going to be something we have to keep our eyes on. As the Army of Classic retreats away, pulls it back around. We resettle ourselves for a couple of moments here. One more scan comes out. The Vikings, the Bio units gathering up. 4 shots on a Marauder. Vikings in some trouble. Gonna lose 1 now. Just gonna pop the cloaking. Get rid of the missile turrets. I mean, right now cloaking doesn't do anything. Then the Mothership dies. Gonna drop the interference matrix on one of these Colossi. The anti-armor missile should go a long way as well. Just need the Vikings to kind of get through onto the carriers. Right now we're just fighting interceptors. Is that going to work out? There's a world where it may, and again, it's these Vikings that are not being hit by anything. Stalkers just do not really cut it, and these kind of numbers take so long to chew through the Vikings. We attempt to recall, we lose everything but 1 carrier on the recall, and these few Stalkers even being chased away. The rest of them might get away with the blink, but yeah, a couple of the front there just getting taken down. Now Storm is finished. I think Classic would much rather this being like a trade-out fight and then rebuild into that Storm and then take a bigger fight. I think taking the bigger fight there without Storm available, especially when you've got the investment made into it, is such a difficult one to justify. I feels like that's going to turn out to be very, very pricey. As we do move the CC over, it's going to land up on the gold base. And more Vikings, Bio, Ghosts. Up in the center as well, Liberator will siege up from afar. Maybe chilling out on that gold, plus 3 attacks still coming through, 6 more libs coming up, Marine Marauder coming in, and Bioforce still pushing to the top side as we look for what direction we may try and go for next. Couple of EMPs coming down across the board. Battery will do some healing. That's not going to last too long though, with those EMPs having already dropped, and this gold is pretty much sacrificed. It doesn't seem as though Classic has the numbers right now to step forward and to deal with defending that position. So all those carriers joining up, a couple more on the way. Just going to be seen out by Bioforce. Just going to go jump onto this Nexus straight away here. So Nexus is going to be taking a little bit of a tackling. Vikings Liberator is the plus 3 attack upgrade. Will come through also. And yeah, the Bio is going to go back onto those couple of cannons. Some more damage being done. This Viking's going to shoot down one of the carriers from afar. And again, that doesn't help your case right now. As well, you just, at this point where there's now so many Liberators, how do you deal with these? Well, you need a big fight. You're not really in a position to take a big fight. and the Liberators are pre-siege, so you can't move around them. This feels like it's going to be a horrible engagement in for Classic as well. The Storm is very good. He couldn't have gotten more value off of that Storm. Drops the Time Warp now as well. Is that enough to hold on this ramp? It really doesn't seem so. Marauders are going crazy. The Vikings are supporting in the sky still. Liberators have just advanced even further towards this Protoss base. And now we're going to be sieging up all across this base as well, as Classic seemingly out of options after such a good start from Classic. I mean, that was a dream start. You defend brilliantly. You really take down so many units. You get so much done so easily. It all came crashing down so soon afterwards. GG's, and that is going to be Maru picking up this first game of GSL qualifying match on the day 3. So everything a best of 3. Let's see what happens in the top left-hand corner. Looking to bounce back. It is our red Protoss play. We'll be hoping for another start similar to the last at the very least. Get set off in a good place. And red Protoss from Twisted Minds is Classic. Bottom right, our blue Terran player. This is Maru. Well, game number 1 goes his way. And GSL King. I'm just going to call him the GSL King. He really is at this point. He's just won so many of them. Yeah, GSL King. We're going to qualify into another season of Code S. That barracks drops down. Refinery coming up. Just going to see our gateway and assimilator continue to produce on through. And probe on the way out as well, and a couple more refineries. As Maru will go into a little bit of harassment / tech-based focus this game. Get that factory up fairly early. Obviously, some tech units early on can do a lot for you, so definitely expecting to see something in that regard. Let's just have our barracks and our refinery finishing up the next couple of moments. We have the gateway and a probe coming up also on the side of Classic. Well, pretty chill start here as we get that Reaper in production. Got a Nexus down here from Classic over on the natural expansion, so just going to get that underway. Nexus starts through, factory is building in the main base. Going to see another SCV coming across to drop down a depot. And Proby just continues out over to the upper left-hand side, so again, on a little bit of a journey over to the upper left for the moment. Still got ourselves a Nexus halfway done, the Adept coming up, Reactor and Factory coming by as well here from Maru. Really just waiting to see what he does off the back of this. Last game, the aggression didn't really hit well for him at all. Definitely missed its mark. It did not find the workers he would have been hoping to find. As the gateway will just chrono boost, the Adept comes over. Reaper going to get chased around. As Adept is just going to fire up once. Reaper is going to be taking a single hit. Nothing too crazy though. He's just going to get chased away. Back out onto the map. Adept will continue to shade. Misses it though. Lack of vision on that Adept shade nowadays. Way back when they nerfed the vision range on a on an Adept, so on an Adept shade at least. So Miscount with them became less effective. And missed the Reaper there. Don't think it would have shaded onto the Reaper anyways. It's, you know, you maybe get one more shot, but then you're out of position. But either way, just Reaper, you know, being a little bit tricksy. Do you see the Cyclone is about to finish on Maru's side? He's just got a couple of Marines here at the moment. That is the first Cyclone. These Adepts do need to be careful. As the Adepts shade up, Maru will see the Adepts, and this is where there's no way you commit to this as Classic. If you know there's a Cyclone there, how do you just don't think you should commit to this at all? Like, what do you gain from this? At best, you're going to get an SCV or so, and at worst, you're going to lose 2 Adepts. So you got 2 Marines and an SCV. That's 2 of your early game Adepts just gone. And now look at this, across the map, the Reaper gets through. That's going to be its first kill of the game as it hops up to the high ground, moves into the main base, looking for some further damage, and it's going to drop a grenade down. Good grenade there. Going to get rid of a probe as we go. The Stalker will hunt. The Stalker will kill the Reaper off as well. It's a nice little grab on that. Again, Robo Facility still coming through with the gateway, with the warp gates. All of that coming into play as of right now, as Adept, Stalker, Phoenix still gathering at the front. Another Cyclone begins to make a move out. Medevac still in production. And the warp gate coming up here on the side of Classic. Going to get that finished up. the next few moments as this army of Maru will make a play out into the other side of the map. 2 Cyclones, a few Marines, the medevac boosting across as well. This is where we're going to see if this investment early to that early attack and these earlier numbers are going to go anywhere. I mean, this feels good because you've gotten rid of 2 Adepts. You've gotten in for a little bit of damage with the Reaper as well. This is one of those scenarios where I absolutely can see some of this early game damage, maybe connecting, committing. We knocked the shields off of Phoenix already as well, and at the very least, Cybercore Gateway here is going to be in some trouble. Immortal on the way out, but not going to be here for a bit here. The Stalkers try and contest with the Adept. I mean, this is a dangerous game you're playing because those Phoenix will probably have to lift up to evacuate, to kind of lift up the Cyclones to allow the evacuation and the retreat to really come through. Well, instead now the Cyclones just reposition, finds the Stalker warping in as well. Again, shields go off of that. It gets stuck for a moment, doesn't go down, but again, more damage taken. And it's all just adding up seemingly against our Protoss for the moment here. Cyclone's still about to finish from Maru. The command center coming up on the front. Cyclone's locking on again. Immortal still taking damage. The Widowmine too took a couple of chips. Do lift that Widowmine up in the end. It's going to relocate it a bit further back. Phoenix getting there. Going to lift up the Widowmine, and the Phoenix now going down while Phoenix will mine. You take that trade at the Terran. Especially if you end up keeping these units alive, then that's great. We're going to start turning to fight now. The Immortal's the real kind of big problem. It really chunks through those Cyclones, but if we can keep away from that, the Cyclones do very, very well, already trading especially well against those few Stalkers. Their numbers cut down, cleaved away at throughout this early engagement. And Classic just about sticking around on these 2 bases. A couple workers lead, but not where he wants to be. Terran has a 3rd CC, about to finish, able to move out in the very near future. Protoss only just now putting the 3rd base down, so we're behind in economy, you know, typically 3rd base up. If you don't have a 3rd base, you're meant to be on like a really good Phoenix Colossus setup, which is what we're heading to, but I don't feel like this was a speedy commitment to it at all. Having to build that Immortal and making sure that we're safe here has definitely come to kind of cost you a little bit. Alright, it's going to go retreat away, back down to the bottom right side. Raven about to finish, 1-1 upgrades. Still on the way through. The Phoenix lifts up a single Marine. The rest of these Marines jump into the medevac to try and retreat away as well. This Phoenix still trying to chase, and the medevac takes a few more shots. Cyclones are there to say, nuh-uh. Push those Phoenix away a moment or two. There's one Phoenix lifted. Cyclone goes down. Oh, at least we grabbed something from this. The tail end is Classic, who probably doesn't want to go any further. Fall back here and just kind of settle down on your 3rd base. You've got extended thermal lens and the Colossi coming through as your splash damage. We'll start to get other tech set up also. Again, it's kind of a weird one because it doesn't even feel like you've traded super terribly, but man, you know you've been delayed from taking your 3rd as soon as you would have liked it. And that alone is a bit of a feels bad moment. The saving grace here, of course, is as well, the next minute or so, there's no upgrades in the BIOS, so then Maru can't push until a certain point in time. So this makes it a good moment to spend some money investing into the future rather than building for the right here and now, because there isn't anything happening in the here and now. This really much so is going to build a bit more towards the future. The question is, can those future investments come to play before Maru does find the opportunity to push, before he does find the chance to take a fight? That's going to be our big question up next. So 3rd base moves out for Maru, so it's going to land into position. The economy's honestly not bad for Classic, all said and done. They didn't host this with Game Hot, so I can't jump into the income graph or anything, but I feel like it's still been pretty good for Maru. And obviously, Protoss wants to be like 10-ish workers ahead, which is where we're at now. It's just taking a while to get here with that 3rd base only just coming online. Like I say, that's going to be the scary part. Look at all these upgrades that are just finishing right now for the Terran. One just finished, Dim and Combat Shields just finished. I do not love the Fleet Beacon because that feels like an investment second Stargate as well. An investment made just as the Terran is reaching their peak form this mid-game. All their upgrades completing. The more you build into right now that is not valuable material on the map that's ready to fight, the less likely it is you're going to be able to get a hold here. That is going to become, I think, the biggest problem of all. Is that Viking going to poke away, grab that Observer. So that goes down immediately. The rest of the Bioforce continues to push on through. And across the map we go. Thanksville Siege Bio getting set up. Fleet Beacon about to be finishing. Stargate about to be done as well. We'll scan here and we do have those tanks just getting siege. Marauders will take a bit of a step forward. continue to fly. Here we go. I mean, Maru's set up, so it's about how the pros can do attacking in. Good lifts on the Phoenix, but there's the Matrix on the Colossi. And this is when you want to fight triple Matrix across all Colossi. There's no splash in this fight. And that's going to waste pretty much the entirety of this super battery as well. And just these Colossi really wanted to be up and in there. Maru just hits, I mean, triple Matrix is brutal. I mean, you shouldn't really be able to end up in a fight where you get triple Matrix. There's usually ways for you to kind of force the Terran to use a Matrix earlier, but because Maru just wandered across and got set up before anything else happened, well, it basically just let him decide how this was going to pan out. And that's going to pan out very successfully here from Maru, who grabs himself game number 2.